Sexy girl, don't jam me. Sexy girl, sexy girl, don't jam me. When woman come out to jam, it's a delight to every.
Welcome back to my Montserrat Black Jaguar. Wagwan.
Nothing much, nothing much. It's a pleasure to be here.
So you're getting ready for a festival, I gather, and you know the competition, the Calypso competition, and you release of your second album. But first, let's talk a little bit about Black Jaguar. Which part of the island are you from?
I am from St. John's. I grew up in Gerald's Bottom, as they called it, you know, back then. Still Gerald's Bottom, not back then, but still Gerald's Bottom. Then, you know, later on in my teenage years, or maybe before that, you know, I lived on Challengers Road.
Okay.
What we call 46 North Street. The only street in Montserrat with a house number. 46 North Street, Challengers Road.
St. John's, Montserrat.
St. John's, Montserrat. I believe it or not, people used to get their mail there. I used to get my mail to that address. It's crazy, right?
Yeah. So who were some of your neighbors growing up?
Man, the Lumber. You had Lumber for sure. You had radio. Well, you said neighbors. You're talking about Montserrat now, right? So. Yeah.
Just let me be more straight. Just the people that live around you, you know. Cause the whole village are your neighborhood, but you know.
Yeah. Well, if I look out my window or look out my door, Lumber right there.
Okay.
Lumber was probably is probably the closest neighbor that I had. That's in the music business right now.
Okay.
And of course you had radio that lived down the street from me. And I used to spend a lot of time with radio. A lot of time. I mean, radio was the one who taught me how to play cricket. You know. Yeah. I remember radio used to send me to the store to buy what we call a sweet drink, cola.
Right.
And biscuit and stuff like that. Yes, I was the shop boy, you know. But yeah, I spent a lot of time with radio, listening to him play his guitar, and I could say now, being influenced by his music.
Okay. So how old were you when you first entered MSS?
I entered MSS at 12 years old. Okay. I remember. I actually was one of those people, and I'm not ashamed to say it, who took the common exam twice.
Right.
The first year I took it, I remember they were taking 300 people, and I came 311. And I'm telling you, man, that year, I cried like a baby, man, because I was pissed. And I swore to myself that I would never, ever let nothing like that happen to me again. And the next year, I took it again, and I came 11th on the island.
Okay.
So I dropped off 300, you know.
Right.
But they say anything in life that does not kill you makes you stronger.
True that.
And sometimes defeats come along so that you can use them as a stepping stone towards excellence. So for those of us out there who may encounter defeat at any time in our life, we shouldn't look at it as a total loss, but we should use that as motivation.
Right. Let's talk a little bit about Jaguar the athlete. You were a runner at MSS, a distance runner at MSS. Middle distance, really. Which house were you in?
I was in Orange House.
Okay.
But the running actually started way before then. I remember my influence for running really came from watching the Easter Monday relays. And that was I remember the first year that Boys Brigade, the first year that they ever had it, and Boys Brigade won. And after that, I started running up and down the place like a mad dog. I mean, people used to see me all the time and think that I was crazy. As a matter of fact, I've been told that they used to think I was crazy because everywhere they saw me, I was running.
Right.
All up and down the place. I mean, I would would get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and I would head to the lookout all the way over the Trent and come back. Sometimes I'd be going to Salem, you know. Not at a very young age, but as I got older, I started going farther and farther because I was much braver now and, you know, probably more able to protect myself, even though Montserrat was really a safe place, so to speak, you know.
Right.
But the running started at a very early age, and I remember my first real competition. And I call it first real competition because I was sitting in class one day, and I was in Standard 1, and teacher Valerie came and said, she pointed to me and told me to come. So I followed her, and I had no idea where I was going. And she took me out by the street where the hospital is now in Montserrat, but she took me on that street over there by where Mrs. Morgan's shop was. And they had a chalk line drawn in the road. And she put me on the line with some guys. These were bigger guys who were going to St. John's School, but they were much older than me.
Right.
And told me to race. No, I didn't win the race, but I cleaned up some of those guys who were much older than me, you know? And I guess it was a test to see how much potential I have, because everybody knew I was running, and they always used to be running. And I said that was my first real competition, because that's the first time I ever remember competing.
Okay.
And I think I came about maybe second or third. But for a kid my age racing against other guys in grade standard 4 and older than me, you know, that was rather significant. And of course I went on through the years to win Victor Ladorium at MSS, cross country races, you know.
Well, let's start at the top right there. What surprised me when I first saw you is how good you were at that age, just coming in from primary school. You didn't win your first cross country.
No, I did not win my first cross country. My first cross country I ran, I came second.
Behind who?
Huh?
Behind who do you remember? Who?
Yeah, I came second. Julian,
that was Julian's first win.
Yeah, Julian beat me. But Julian beat me because of my naivety. But it doesn't matter. A win is a winner. And but I caused him some headache that year.
Right. So you your first year coming in, you just missed me.
Yeah, I just missed you. I just missed you tearing up some people. Yeah, I heard about the big bad rumpy, you know.
So you won cross country from second form up or third form. When was your first win?
I think the first. I was kind of one of those people who I don't know if it was. Sometimes I didn't care about much. Sometimes, and my first year I didn't run at all. Okay. I didn't even practice. I was good. I knew it was good.
Right.
But I decided I didn't want to run. And the second year, in second form, I ran. I came second, and then I won my third year, and my fourth year, my fifth year.
Okay.
The next 3 years I ran in secondary school. I won all 3 years.
And I know you like to run track. 400 specifically. What is it about the 400 that you like? It's a very hard race.
The 400 is probably the hardest race in track and field, man, because you're talking about it's a sprint, really. It's an all-out sprint.
It's a long sprint.
And it's distance at the same time. So it's really hard. But what I love most about the 400 is the technique about it. You know, you have to know how to get out, and there are 4 phases to it, really. You have to know how to get out. You have to know how to run the backstretch. You have to know how to run the third turn, and then you have to come home strong. You can't allow yourself to tie up. You have to stay relaxed, even when fatigue is setting in. So it's a beautiful race, and when run right, you know, it can produce some good results.
Right. You were also a cricketer. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I played cricket at secondary school, and also before that. But I used to play for MSS, and I also represented Montserrat youth team on several occasions. I think the first year I played for Montserrat youth team was in Antigua, and that year Montserrat actually won the youth tournament.
Okay.
And then the second year was in St. Kitts, and we were tied for first place, I think. I might have the countries wrong.
Okay.
But not the standings. The first year I know we won. The second year we were tied for first place. And we pretty much did good every year after that, because the team that we had was a really good team. You're talking about Lawrence O'Brien, Pupala. You're talking about Oral Kernan. You're talking about Cosmic. You're talking about Owen Roach.
Right.
You're talking about, man, we had one of the best youth teams that ever came out of Montserrat, I think. And we were so good that even after we came up from the youth tournament, they didn't split us up. They still continued to play as a local team, and we wreaked havoc, you know. So, you know, it was a really good team. I mean, even Devon Williams, Rakatang and I used to open.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so, you know, I tried a lot of things.
Right. Well, that brings us to present day. Black Jaguar, the artist. You're getting ready for the release of your second album here, Man from Strat. Tell us a little bit about Man from Strat, the title, and you know, brief intro to some of the music on it.
Yeah, Man from Strat is special to me because, and it's not to say that my first album was not special either.
Right.
But Man from Strat is special to me because I kind of immersed myself into this work this time around, more so than I did with Paws of a Jag. With Paws of a Jag, I dare say I was sort of still experimenting, and I guess the experimenting never goes away. But I would like to think that I've immersed myself more into this album. This album is going to have 10 tracks on it, including the 2 songs that I'm going to sing for the Calypso competition. There's Fatal Attraction, which has already been released as a single.
Okay, so that tell us about Fatal Attraction. Fatal Attraction is more of a dance track.
Yeah, it's more of a dance track. That one was written by the maestro, Prince Jubri. And it's basically a song about a man and a woman in a dance. And the man sees another woman, a sexy woman dancing, and, you know, he's tempted to touch, but he can't because he's dealing with a woman who's going to cause just as much havoc if he even dare to do so. But then he's in a fight for his life now because the other woman also wants to dance upon him. So he's in a war against two minds, so to speak.
Yeah, what you call a dilemma.
But he can't. It's a dilemma. Exactly, that's what you call it. It's a dilemma, really.
Sexy girl. Right, that's one of the tracks you released. Then we have Drowning on a Rising Sun, and what's the other one you released?
And Take Control.
Take Control. So,
Drowning on a Rising Sun is special because that Black Jaguar just going in a totally different direction. It's not a soca song. It's not a calypso song.
Right.
It's closer related to an R&B reggae song, acoustic really, more than soca calypso. That one was written beautifully, I must say, by Jaguar.
From Parent Sounds.
It was truly from Parent Sounds.
In a time of upheaval, when all we see is not all we really know. In a time of confusion, when all there is doesn't really seem to flow. I'm standing on the edge of a river in a Babylon, where the tears of the wicked drown on the rising sun.
It's a song with a powerful message, you know, not unlike a calypso.
Yeah. It still does have that message, and it has a message that's relevant. And I hope, you know, when I write or when I take on a song that somebody has written for me, I try to pay attention to several things. One of them is the lyrics of the song, because I don't want to just have music, but the song is empty,
right,
and void of saying something. And I just don't want to be just saying something just to say something. I want my songs to have meaning, and so that somebody can listen to it and relate to it, just like my poems.
Mm-hmm.
Then when you accompany good music with good lyrics, with the well-rounded music, it makes for a good song. Because now, for those people who like to just dance, they can dance. For those people who like to listen, they can listen. And for those people who like to just take in both worlds, they can dance and listen at the same time. So you can't go wrong. So I try to pay attention to that aspect of my music.
Well, here's what surprised me is because I know you were doing soca, you're a soca artist. I remember the first time we sat down and we got you some lyrics, and you saw that, you said, no hesitation, you wanted that.
Yes.
I mean, what was it that attracted you to that? Because right off the bat, I mean, we're looking for soca, and that came up, and boom, you want that.
I'm a poet. I'm a poet at heart, and immediately when I started reading the lyrics of that song, I loved the poetry of it.
Uh-huh.
I love the poetry of it. Man on his knees, facing a burning sky.
Yeah.
I love the lyrics of it. I love the poetry of it, and that's what gravitated me to it. I mean, it was relevant to what was happening now, or to what is happening now.
Right. Okay, and it's a track that your fans seem to be loving.
Yes, that's true. And they're loving all of them for the most part. It's just that everybody has their preference, because there's those people who love Take Control. Now, Take Control is something totally different again. Look at the three songs, and I would like to think, this is what I think about them. If I was a fan, thinking about the three songs that Black Jaguar has released so far, you have Fatal Attraction, which is a nice soca dance track. You have Drowning on the Rising Sun, which is to me, a more acoustic, reggae R&B.
Right.
Then you have Take Control, which is a ragga soca kind of flavor.
Right. A little dancehall thing in there.
Yeah, it's a mixture of dancehall, soca, and reggae mixed together.
Mm-hmm.
And I must say that I must pick up a lookout for stepping up to the plate and say, hey, let me jig with you on this one, and I must say he did a hell of a job,
Yeah, it was excellent.
I wanna take control.
She want me take control. She want me take
I wanna rock your world.
Rocking these ladies. Yeah, she want me.
I wanna take control.
She want me take control. Look up.
From the time I see you approach the party, all eyes on you.
All my eyes on you.
The sexy movement of your walk now, baby, have me feeling good, girl. You got me feeling, got me wanting, got me craving, hoping for a taste.
So listen, you based on your release so far, I mean, it seems to me that the album itself is basically headed in that direction. A little bit of everything.
Yes.
For everybody. A little, whatever your taste is. Soca wise, music wise, you get a little bit of that on the album coming up here.
Yes, true. Listen, for every song on my album, what I want to bring across to my audience or to my fans is a story.
Mm-hmm.
My songs are about telling stories. When you listen to my songs, you could laugh, you could cry, because they're telling a story from beginning to end. But I'm killing you with music.
Right.
So in the middle of your laughter, in the middle of your crying, you can get up and dance if you want to.
Uh-huh.
It's all about making people happy. It's about making people want to listen to music again. It's about making people be proud of Montserrat.
Right.
Proud, knowing that, hey, you know what? Montserrat is still viable. Montserrat still has good Calypsonian, still Soca, still Calypsonian, still good Soca artists. And it's not just me. There are a whole bunch of us out there that are still doing big things.
Right, you know. Montserrat still produce good music.
Exactly. All around.
All around. So, one of my favorite tracks on the album is the track called Dance. You know, one of the tracks that you wrote and, you know, produced again by Parent Sounds. We talked a little bit about that earlier. I was wondering if you were going to dedicate that track to radio. It sounds, you know, to me it sounds a lot like something that, you know, will come out to St. John's. I mean, well, granted, both you and Prince grew up right there in a spitting distance, or you know, or radio. So I was wondering.
Yeah. I actually wrote that song "Dance" last year before I went home. You know, it was I had finished my album, and I had this song in my head that I wanted. I had this beat in my head that I wanted to put on paper. And the beat, believe it or not, the beat, it's a funny thing that you mentioned radio, so to speak, because I was actually thinking about Sugar Douchey. Remember the song Sugar Douchey?
Yeah, vaguely.
Yes, and I remember the melody in that song. And that song was not overpowering with lyrics, so to speak. But it was, whatever it said, it was saying a lot. But the music of that song was what really got me. You know?
How Sugar Douchey go again?
This young gal was happy in a ball, so merrily that she said to me, "You're my sugar douchey, my sugar douchey." You know? And it was a simple song, but it was powerful.
Right.
It's just with the message and the music behind it. And I said, you know, I want to see if I can capture some of that essence. I'm not sure if I did, but I wanted to at least try and capture some of that essence. So that's why I said I wanted to dedicate that song to radio. Because my inspiration came from that song. I would like to think that it doesn't sound like it in any way.
Right.
But, you know.
Well, let's you know, give us a little insight, a little background insight. So how do you work that though? You recorded the melody and you sent it to Maestro, and Maestro.
Yeah, I did the melody a cappella. It was a melody that I had in my head. And I wrote the lyrics based on the melody that I had in my head.
Right.
And I sent it off to the Maestro and said, hey, I said, Prince, I have this song and I want you to make up a wicked melody for it. This is what I have. I don't care if you change the beat to it or whatever, but this is what I have. And I sent him the acapella on the lyrics. And oh man, you know what the Maestro do? He does what he does best.
Right.
He just took it to a whole different level, you know. And what he came back with was a sweet beat to accompany the lyrics.
Everybody dance, everybody dance, everybody dance, everybody dance, everybody dance, everybody dance. As I seek to find a meditative state of mind, one of balance and harmony. Oh, 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 lyrics from beyond time.
Right. Well, let's talk a little bit about your team, because this album is being done with Parent Sounds, your production team and your label. Tell us a little bit about you know, your relationship you have with Parent Sounds.
Yeah. Well, nobody. Let me begin by saying that nobody can do anything by themselves. Huh?
Right.
It takes a group of individuals working together as a team, and I emphasize the word team heavily to make things happen. And this is the relationship that I have with Prince and Jim Maxwell and DJ Go. DJ Go is not a part of Parent Sounds, but I still do have a relationship with him. I can talk to these guys. I can say, hey, you know what? I don't like this. I don't like this. I think that this should be done this way. And vice versa. They'll come to me and they'll say, Jack, you're not singing the song right. Sometimes they might even put an X word.
Right.
But you're not singing the song right. This is the way to song. And we don't get mad. We don't have egos.
Right.
Because we understand that what we're doing is much bigger than us. What we're doing is larger than us. So we have one goal, one thing in mind. And I think that's what makes the relationship work. Because it's not to say we have anything to prove, but we understand the good thing when we see it,
Right.
And I think we have. I think we're making lovely music, man. And I mean, if anybody doesn't recognize that, I'm sorry, not to pat myself on the back or anything, but I think we are making good music, and I hope that people enjoy to the max. But that's why we did it.
Yeah, this album is gonna be very good. I think this album is an album that's probably gonna define you for a long time musically.
I hope so. I really do. I really hope so. But I don't want it to be my final definition, because I want to continue making music. And if I could keep on raising the bar every time,
right,
I would love to do that. I know that might be a lot of pressure on myself. I don't look at it as pressure.
Okay. Well, let's just mention also that this is your album here is an all Montserrat production. In addition to working with Parent Sounds to create the album, it's being mastered, finished at Banana Studios in Montserrat by Darkman.
I'm loving that. Last year I did Pause of a Jack. I did the mastering with a friend of mine, Black Dog Mastering in Tampa. But this year I opted to go with Banana Studios.
Right.
Jonathan Jubri out of Montserrat, because I love the fact that 99% of this album is being done by Montserrat, and I dare say 100%, because DJ Go is Montserrat at heart too.
Yeah.
So it's 100% Montserrat, and I love that. Even the Lookout is Montserrat, for those of us who don't know that.
What's his name? Roderick Bergen?
Roderick Bergen, yes.
From St. Patrick's, right?
You have Chrissy Fraser, she's from Trinidad, of course.
Yeah, she does background vocals for you there.
With the background, she did a few background vocals and a few songs for me. Control,
right?
Drowning on the Rising and Dance,
right?
But apart from that, it's 100% Montserrat, and I think that says something. It says something, and I hope that Montserratians would rally behind that and say, hey, you know what? This is a Montserrat product.
Right. A very good Montserrat product, I might add.
A good Montserrat product at that, exactly.
Well, I noticed you also have the same relationship with Darkman that they have with Parent Sounds, where if you send Darkman a track and and he hears something that he doesn't like, he can link us back and he said, listen, do this or do that. Or if he sends you a finished product and you don't like it, you can tell him, well, Dark, do this or Dark, do that, and there are no hard feelings.
Yes. It goes back to what I said earlier, Jim, it goes back to that. You have to take ego. You have to take ego out of the equation.
Right.
And understand that respect. You have to respect people and deal with people on a level playing field.
Right.
And you can't be coming in to a situation and trying to dictate it, because people don't like that. It's best to touch somebody on the shoulder and say, hey, you know what? Could we try this another way?
Right.
As opposed to saying,
this is all I want them.
It doesn't work like that. We have to take ego out of it and understand that we're dealing with humans, we're dealing with individuals, and the same respect that you want from somebody, to give that person.
Okay. Well, it is festival time, and that means Kaiso. you got you got your 2 tracks. You got more than 2 tracks to the festival, but let's deal with your competition tunes. You happy with those? I mean, I'm not going to name them here right now if you don't want to, but you happy with your competition tunes?
I am very happy. I am very happy. What I hope to achieve with my competition tunes is something on a broad scale. Of course, I'm gonna say it here, loud and clear. I'm going in with the intention to win.
Right.
I don't play to lose. When I run track, I didn't run to lose. When I played cricket, I didn't play cricket to lose. Anything I did in life, I didn't do it to lose. Now I understand that there's a possibility of me losing, and I accept that.
Right.
But during that fight, I'm not fighting to lose. So, you know, having said that, though, I wanted to bring something to the table that was fresh. Not necessarily different, but fresh.
Right.
You know, a different perspective. And I think the song that I have will capture that and portray that and bring that across to the people. And relevant. Right. Relevant at the same time. Relevant to Montserrat. Relevant to the Caribbean on a whole. Relevant to the world even. But, you know, I like relevance.
Well, I know.
I think the song has captured that.
You were very good. You were very good last year. You know, you had some good tunes last year. You finished second. Do you think you have better material this year, and are you better prepared to compete this year as opposed to last year, your first year?
I would say I'm better in that I have some experience under my belt. I think whenever you have experience, it's better than not having any at all.
Right.
And last year I didn't have any experience whatsoever. I went into it was a learning process for me. So I do have some experience. I'm still learning, but I do have something, a foundation on which to build.
Right.
So in that, I would say that I am better prepared. I'm more hungry.
Right.
You know, I'm ready, and I'm absolutely loving the material that I have.
Were you surprised when you came back up from Montserrat last year in January, and you got back to the studio that the guy at the Parent Sounds already had your competition tunes done? Did that surprise you?
Well, in a small part, yes. I didn't expect them to be that ready. But knowing Prince and knowing that Prince is a man that always has material.
Right.
You know, it's just a matter of going to the shelf and saying, hey, what flavor do you want? Do you want vanilla? Do you want strawberry?
Right.
Make them dance? Do you want to make them jump? You know, Prince already has them there sitting on the shelf. So sometimes it's just a matter of saying, of making a selection. It's like going to Blockbuster or Redbox and choosing the movie that you want.
Right.
So, but at the same time, man, I barely landed a week, and I was back in the studio already.
Right.
And there were my songs. It was just a matter of practicing them and going with them.
Right.
So,
and I could tell
somebody may say, "Wow, that's kind of early," but it depends on the material.
Right, and it depends on, you know, your team, because I know the philosophy at Parent Sounds was it's never too early to get prepared. So, you know, when Prince called me in the day after New Year's Day and said, well, you know, let's get busy, I was ready.
Listen, you have to understand this. From the time the Calypso competition was over, it was just a matter of enjoying that moment, enjoying that victory, because to me that was a victory.
Right.
Even though I didn't win the crown, to me that was a victory. So I enjoyed the moment. But it was time to get back to work, buddy. You know?
Yeah.
I mean,
that's it.
Time waits for no man.
So you've got 2 songs here, one by Prince, one by Mackwell, and you're ready to go. Let me play devil's advocate for a minute. You're on the same label here as Silk.
Yeah.
Are you excited about that?
Yes, I am. And I said that with all sincerity, because I'm glad to see a fellow Montserrat deciding to take it up another notch. You understand that? I remember last year was the first time that I knew who Silk was. I didn't know who he was. But immediately when I heard him sing, I was like, wow, this guy has a really nice voice. And I'm happy to see that he has some good material. Now, that doesn't mean that I still read this. Hey, this is what I'm saying.
Right.
That doesn't mean that when we get on the stage that we ain't gonna go at it tooth and nail.
Right.
But at the same time, when we walk off the stage, we should be still buddies. We should be still men. We should be still friends.
Right.
But it's about competing and competing hard, and giving the people their money's worth. So I'm happy. I'm happy for him. I'm happy that he decided to take that step and raise his music to a different level.
Yeah, him and it's just that made by him, by him and his mentor Paul Lewis, to work with Parent Sounds. I mean, I've heard his competition tunes and Trouble in the Place song. Let me think.
Well, that's good, man. That's good. Why do we fight against each other?
Right.
Why? We should be able to fight on the stage, but when we get off the stage, yeah, you have your little psychological battles and all that stuff. There's no need for it to get personal. There's no need for another man to see me on the street and not want to talk to me or begrudge me because I'm better than him or because he thinks that I'm better than him. It's foolish, I think, and I think we ought to be more grown than that and realize that it's a competition. That's all it is.
Yeah, that is true. Well, Jack, let me ask you, a couple of related questions, couple of items. One, you obviously you don't live on Montserrat year round these days, like a lot of other Montserratians. Due to circumstances, you find yourself living and working off island, like majority of the Montserratians. Now, I've heard you do interviews, and this only happens to you with Montserratian media personnel, and they would introduce you as Black Jaguar from someplace else, or William Sweeney, which is not your name, by the way, from XYZ. I mean, one time you were going on and I heard somebody say Black Jaguar, formerly of Montserrat. Now, that annoys the hell out of me. How much does that annoy you?
I would be a liar if I said it doesn't bother me, man. I mean, I'm a Montserratian to the bone. I mean, I don't live in Montserrat.
Like the majority of Montserratians, you happen to not be living there at the moment.
Yeah, but I am a Montserratian to the bone. As a matter of fact, I would dare say I'm probably more in tune with Montserrat than some people who live there.
Right.
But I would like for them to get it in their head that when you introduce me as Black Jaguar from Montserrat, from St. John's.
That's it.
That's all I ask. Now, if you want to add to that he now resides in the U.S. And you make a mistake with where I live, like some of them have done. I've been introduced from Philadelphia. I've been introduced from Connecticut. I've been introduced from places in America that I've never even lived.
Right.
And to me, it's I don't know if it's meant to be disrespectful. I don't know if it's meant to be downright rude.
Right.
But whatever it is, I would like to think that they can correct that, because I'm Black Jaguar from Montserrat, St. John's, Montserrat.
It's very annoying. I don't hear that with a lot of people. I could call some names, people who've been there foreign for years, and then they go home and hear them introduce them as coming from XYZ or from wherever they come from.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
So your title of your album, Man from Strat, does that reflect any of that?
Yes. Yes, it does.
Okay.
I wanted to drive that point home.
Right.
That's where I'm from. I'm not from Virginia. I'm not from Connecticut. I'm not from Philadelphia. I'm not from someplace in America. I'm from Montserrat. I still carry a Montserrat passport.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what else to say.
And here's the other thing, you released your first track back in, was it late July, early August?
Uh-huh.
And I've heard people saying, well, why make you release so early? What?
Yeah, I was asked that question when I did my first interview on ZGP. Now, let me say something. Black Jaguar released his music that early because Black Jaguar is not a Christmas singer. Black Jaguar is not a December singer. Black Jaguar is not just a carnival singer. Black Jaguar would like to think of himself as an international artist. Black Jaguar is an international artist. Okay?
Uh-huh.
And my decision to release that early is because I'm releasing an album.
Right, and the first single.
And I want to promote my music.
Nice.
I didn't release my music because of Carnival in December or Carnival is coming up in December. Yes, it goes towards that. But I'm releasing because I have an album to promote. And I can't wait until December to promote my album. So, I mean, don't ask me why am I releasing so early. You don't ask Busy Signal why he's releasing so early. You don't ask Marshall Montana why he's releasing so early. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Don't come ask me why I'm releasing so early.
Yeah, you're promoting your album.
Yeah.
Well, let's to wrap things up here. Tell me a little bit about where you see yourself going in the future with your music and with your relationship with Parent Sounds. Are you guys gonna stay? You plan to stay together with these guys and do some big things?
Yeah, like I said before, you don't mess with the winning combination.
Mm-hmm.
If you're gambling and you're sitting at a table and something is working for you, you ride it, and you ride it on. It doesn't work for you anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So yes, I intend to keep working with Parent Sounds, and I don't see any reason why we shouldn't work together until we both decide that we don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, or till we get where we want to be.
Yeah. Now, as far as the future for Black Jaguar, Black Jaguar is always seeking to take his music to a different level.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go global as much as possible. Now, I'm going to make a concentrated effort to start moving more so in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
Everything I've done up to this point was sort of laying the groundwork for that, and I can see some things slowly falling into place in relationship to that.
Okay.
I won't elaborate on that too much right now, but yes, I want to take my music to a global audience. That's where I want to go. If you reach for the sky and you don't make it, at least you might fall on a cloud, or on a mountaintop.
Mm-hmm.
But hopefully your bones don't get crushed when that happens.
Right. So
you get the point. I want to take my music to a global market. As a matter of fact, like I said before, I want to start making a concentrated effort to start doing a lot more live performances,
mm-hmm.
because I do have the material now.
Right.
When I didn't have it before, I do have it now. So yeah, that's something that's in the works. We're talking about media, television, everything. So, bunch of people, I'm asking you to rally behind Black Jaguar. World, Caribbean, I'm asking you to rally behind Black Jaguar. And let's do this. Because at the end of the day, if Black Jaguar reaches to the top of the mountain, anybody behind Black Jaguar comes to the top of the mountain with him.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, that's the aim, that's the goal.
So the album, your second album is called Man from Strat. Where will it be available?
It will be available online. You know, your iTunes, Amazon.com, all of your online stores that you can go and purchase music. It will be available on my website, blackjaguarmusic.com.
Mm-hmm.
For those of you who want to stay in touch with Black Jaguar and what he's doing, you can always follow me on Twitter at Black Jaguar, Jaguar Soca. I have my Facebook page, facebook.com, Black Jaguar Music.
Mm-hmm.
So, those are different places that you can go to and search for Black Jaguar if you need to know about Black Jaguar.
Right, as well as on your label page, paransounds.com.
Exactly.
You're going to have hard copies? I mean, you're going to...
Yeah, I intend to take some hard copies with me when I go down to Montserrat this year for Carnival. And there's going to be hard copies available for sale online, you know, predominantly from my website.
Okay.
Any other site that you go to, you may most likely have to purchase digital copies.
Right.
You know, maybe a site like Reverb Nation, you know, because I do have an account in Reverb Nation also. You'll probably be able to purchase both, you know, hard copies and soft copies. So.
Right, and I think we can hook that up so you can get a hard copy from Amazon.
Yes.
Well, we'll see
I'll try my best to do that, because some people prefer a disc in their hand, something that they can put on their table or in their you know,
right,
in their home to say, hey, you know what, I got a black Jaguar City. And some people are not into that. Some people prefer the digital copies that they can just have it on their computer, on their iPod, iPhones,
right,
whatever, so they can take it with them anywhere they go. You know.
Okay. What's the time frame for the release of the album? I mean, this is, you know, October, so it's going to be out in November. We should look forward to that.
Yeah, the end of November.
Okay.
It's right before my departure towards the MLI.
And it's going to have 10 tracks, including the 3 tracks that were already released. Your two competition tunes.
Yes.
Okay. Well, Jag, listen, it was a pleasure, man. Always a pleasure to have you on. Keep us up to date with whatever you're doing, and you know, shout out the fans before you go.
Yes. Again, it was my pleasure, really, and I want to say, you know, my Montserrat, you're doing something good. Keep on doing what you're doing. As far as my fans are concerned, man, I just want to say I love you. Keep on supporting the Jag. Keep on buying that music. Listening to the music, promoting the music on your Facebook pages, on your Twitters, or whatever you have, you know, MySpace, whatever pages you have. Yeah, and I also want to say thank you to all the DJs and promoters who have been playing my music. You know, you have Backyard Sounds who have been, you know, really selling my sound. You have Terror Sounds, my buddy The Fruits out of Toronto. Guys out of Boston, you know, you have Lester and Daddy and those guys. You know what I mean? Still more sessions to the bone, you know what I mean?
Right.
And,
okay. Backyard Sounds is what's his name then?
Backyard Sounds is Duxie.
Oh, okay, DJ Duxie, you're right.
Yes, sir. Yes. Black Jag will love you always, and we're going to keep on doing it. We're going to keep on dancing, we're going to keep on singing, we're going to keep on making that good music. Bless.
Alright, Black Jaguar, and the album is Man from Strat.
Prince and Jaguar in a combination. We're jamming up, we're jamming up, jamming up. The vibes make you feel nice. We're jamming up, we're jamming up, we're jamming up, jamming up.
It's 5 a.m. in the morning, we out on the road. Tripping down behind the van in Carnival mood. Man jamming and woman whining, this is how we felt. Soca music blazing fire, we dripping with sweat.
Bring some water, this session getting hotter. Bring some water, this session getting hotter. We're jamming up, we're jamming up, jamming up. We're jamming up, we're jamming up, jamming up. Fet is the theme of season for this time of year. So it goes without saying, there's action everywhere. People come from far and wide to participate. 2012 coming for sure, we all have a day. Bring some water, this session getting hotter. Bring some water, this session getting hotter. We're jamming up, we're jamming up, jamming up. We're jamming up, jamming up, we jamming up, jamming up.
The spirit of festival take over the land.
Everybody having fun, jumping up in a band.
No, it's not the time and place for rules and jealousy.
Oh, no. No need to get vexed if your woman whine on me. Bring some water, this session getting hotter. Bring some water, this session getting hotter. Jamming up, jamming up, we jamming up, jamming up.